Can you believe it? We are already in April. We are already in quarter 2 of 2024. Do you remember just a few months ago when you did a vision board, you made New Year's resolutions, and you were so motivated to get things done, whatever those things were? How are you feeling now? And how are you doing with those goals, either the ones that you wrote down or the ones on your vision board? You've lost a little bit of motivation, right? I know I have. And that's because motivation is not the way to get things done. And we're going to talk about why that is and what you can do instead. If you're new to my channel, my name is Javonna MaeRhys. I am a former principal teacher with 20 plus years of experience who gave up her 6-figure job, sold her house, and moved with her husband and son to the island of Borneo, where I am Black. Yes, I'm Black. I'm back in the classroom teaching English in a government school. And I am also a certified life coach, a certified breath coach, I have a cosmetology license as well. And I know what it's like to be doing all the things and to feel overwhelmed. And I have placed strategies in my life to help with the ebb and flow of overwhelm. And I made this channel to help others. And so here we talk about career, specifically how to achieve work-life balance, how to make your job work for you. We also talk about mindfulness on this channel, breath work, and how that can help you regulate yourself, sleep better, calm down when you're feeling frustrated. And we talk about life abroad because I am living in Southeast Asia and doing a bit of traveling as well. So if all of that sounds good to you, please make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and turn on your notifications. So let's get the first reason out of the way. Everyone already knows the main killer of motivation, and that is being overwhelmed. When you have a lot of things on your plate and you feel like it's a never-ending train, a never-ending buffet of responsibilities, obligations, things you just have to do, it's difficult to get motivated sometimes because you don't know where to start. You don't really know where you're going. And when you have a lot of big projects that you have to do, maybe you haven't broken them down into steps, right? So reason number one that your motivation is in the toilet is because you are overwhelmed. And I remember when I was back in the States in the classroom, and also when I was an administrator, I kept having this plan to get in shape, you know, the getting ready for the summer body, having all of these ideas of getting in shape, and it would never happen. I would start out super motivated, and then I would lose that motivation because I was overwhelmed with all of the other things that I had going on. When I was an English teacher in the classroom, it was STAR testing, it was IEPs, making sure those were implemented correctly. It was grading all of the papers, especially when I was teaching advanced placement English, just getting kids ready for that test as well. In addition to being a mom, in addition to, I went through a divorce during those years and taking time from, there was just so much going on. And so although I wanted to get in shape, I was motivated, that motivation would poof under the weight of all of the other stuff that I had to do and was feeling overwhelmed by. So reason number one that your motivation is in the crapper is because you are overwhelmed with doing all the things. Reason number two that you might be lacking motivation might be a surprise, or maybe it's not a surprise. Just picture this in terms of your work. You've been doing the same job the same way for some time now, and there's not really anything interesting happening. And so boredom can be a reason why you are not motivated to complete tasks, to work on projects, because you feel like you've been there, done that, and there's nothing very exciting happening. And so that can kill your motivation. That's why it's important in your work and in your life to make sure that you are planning and doing things that spark joy. Shout out to Marie Kondo, spark joy, and things that really just light you up because you are excited about them, you want to do them, or they're a challenge, you know? So if you are an administrator and you are planning PD for your teachers, and we all know how people feel about PD. Usually, you know, we have all of these strategies for how to make things engaging for students, and we do not apply those strategies to adults. We just talk at them and drone on, and it is boring and it is soul killing. But if you are in that loop where that's what you're doing, you're just popping up a PowerPoint and talking at people, you're not going to be motivated. They're not going to be motivated because everyone is bored. If you're bored, I can guarantee you that they are bored as well. And that's just one example. So why not find a way to mix things up, make it a challenge, and that will maybe spark some motivation. But boredom can definitely be one of those things that causes you to not be very motivated. There's a huge bug flying outside of my window right now. One of the side effects of living in the rainforest, essentially. Okay, focus. So boredom is one of those things that can kill your motivation. Okay, so we've talked about overwhelm, we've talked about boredom being sources of a lack of motivation. The third thing that is a lack of motivation is, or leads to a lack of motivation, is not having clear-cut goals. When you have goals, they are a map. And when you have a map, you know where you're going. And you are more motivated to get there, especially if your goals are set up in such a way that they are chunked, they are achievable, they're SMART goals, you know, you can measure them, etc. They have a little bit of urgency to them. So if you do not have any clear goals, that can lead you to a lack of motivation. So you're overwhelmed because you have so many things to do, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. So you're bored, but you don't really have a map of what you should be doing. And so all of that is like the perfect storm. You could just have one of those things, or you could have all of them going on together, and that is going to keep you from being as motivated as you could be and getting stuff done. And so that's pretty clear cut. Yeah, it's, you know, overwhelm, it's boredom, it is lack of goals. So what do you do? How do you fix it? Because we're still early enough in the year that if you feel like it's getting away from you, there's still time to reel it back in and course correct and get some things done that you are interested in achieving. So let's talk about what you do to right the course. So what do you do when your motivation is going down, 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 but you still need to get things done? For me, systems are the way to go. Implementing a system, because motivation relies on you wanting to do something. It relies on your feelings, you feeling motivated to do something. And we all know that we are not going to feel motivated to do things all the time. That's going to come and go based on the stuff that we've already talked about, right? So if you have a system in place, your system is not based on your feelings or wanting to do it. It is you're doing this thing at this time, or when this happens, then this happens, or if, then. So it's very clear cut when you are using a system and you are attaching that system to getting your goals accomplished. One of the ways that I do that is by time blocking. So I have a specific time at my day job, which is teaching. I have specific times on my calendar where I am working on lesson planning, where I am working on reflection of the lessons for the week. So that is literally mapped out in my calendar. So I know on this day, from this time to this time, this is the thing that I'm working on. And you can break that up into even smaller chunks and have a particular time set to research lessons that you want to do, which I do that sometimes. And in fact, I do that with my content creation, especially. I have on my calendar a certain number of hours that I try not to go beyond because I don't want content to consume my life. So I have a few hours a week. And so I've got a block of time that I set for researching ideas, coming up with ideas. And then I have a separate set of time for planning the ideas, scripting anything that needs to be scripted when I'm doing that. A separate amount of time for actually making posts because I'm over on Instagram, making thumbnails for my YouTube videos, and then a separate amount of time to film the videos. Like today is a day for me to film, and I've got time blocks where I'm filming like 3 videos back to back, right? And so that's my system. And so regardless of whether I feel like it or not, I know at this time I'm doing this, and that keeps me from having to rely on motivation, and it keeps me still moving towards my goals. So what kind of systems, let me know in the comments. Do you already have some systems that you use that help you stay on track instead of relying on motivation? Or what is something that you were motivated to do at the beginning of this year that has kind of dropped off? Let me know in the comments. I talked earlier in the video about never keeping up with my fitness goals. And one of the things that I set in place is what I'm going to talk about next. It's our next tip for what to do when motivation falls off. It's to have accountability outside of yourself. And so if you can join a community of people who are working towards the same thing, that will help keep you accountable. In terms of my fitness, I hired a trainer who comes to my house 3 times a week and takes me through HIIT training, because by the time I get off, even though the work I do now there's no stress really. It's not like being a principal. It's great. So, but still, I'm an introvert, and there's a lot of contact. There's a lot of me being on. There's a lot of me talking. By the time I leave for the day, after giving it my all with students and colleagues, I just want to go home. And so going to the gym is not going to happen, right? And I know that is a story that I'm telling myself, and I can work on that at another time. But first, I need to build the habit of exercising regularly. And the best way for me to do that right now is to have someone come to the house who holds me accountable, who is not letting me, skimp and scrimp when I decide that I want to stop, who's, pushing me to finish that set. So if you can find a group, if you can find a person to connect with who is working towards a similar goal, that is going to help you stay on track with those goals versus you relying solely on. We talked about why your motivation is in the crapper, and it's because of boredom, it's because of lack of clear goals, it's because of overwhelm. And what you can do, which is implement some systems and get some accountability. And if that sounds like something that would work for you, I'd like to invite you to a webinar that I'm hosting on the Quit Commuting Academy coming up on April 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's free, and it is all about job crafting, which I have been talking a lot about over on Instagram. If you don't follow me over there, I'm at Javonna MaeRhys, but I've been talking a lot about job crafting because it is a way for you to do your job, but do it in a way that works for you. And the systems in job crafting are systems that can be used in any career, not just in education, but it's also something that can be used in your personal life. And so I'll have a link in the description for you to sign up for that. I highly encourage you to join. It's completely free. It will give you systems. It will give you a little bit of accountability because I'll be there talking to you about it, and you will meet like-minded people who are also interested in the same thing, which is also part of that accountability that can help you achieve your goals. So again, link in the description, sign up. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, I'm almost at 100 subscribers, and having just started this channel, I'm so excited about that. If my content is content that you think would be interesting or helpful to someone else, please share it. Share it with 1 or 2 people so that they can benefit from what I'm talking about, and I can make those connections and help more people. So that would be really appreciated if you could share my channel. And if you have any comments, if I missed anything about motivation or systems, put that in the comments as well. And I will see you next time.